Hello, welcome to the level 2 of the Dinosaur Sculpting tutorial, and today we're going to talk about adding the torso and all of the body parts, but without going too much into detail. So first of all, what I want you to do is get a Bezier curve. So it's somewhere out here, and it doesn't really matter because we are going to do it in a rather similar way to how we have done the neck. So tab X to delete all the vertices, and then with control, let me turn on screencast. With control and right click, we are going to follow the spine. Okay, let's just roughly make it until the ilium, which is this part, which is kind of like our pelvis, let's say. Okay, so once you have this, let's go to data right here, open geometry, and then here on the bevel. Okay, what happened here? I don't know, but we are going to add some mass until it relatively covers this area. Okay, what happened here? I think we got double. Yeah. Okay, and now we need to make these parts smaller. So with Alt S, we are going to make them small, and Alt Z to see what's underneath the curve. All right, so we're just trying to fit it in. Nothing too crazy, right? Alt S, and try your best to fit it into the silhouette that's in the background. And then this, and like that. Okay, so we can use curve because the tail tapers evenly from all sides, so this is actually a good way to put down a tail without too much modeling. Okay, so now right click and convert it to mesh because it's curved now. Okay, and we go to sculpt mode. Remember to turn on symmetry. Let's try and make it conform to the reference a bit better. Okay, just roughly. Okay, if we got the tail, we can put down the torso, which is a bit more complicated, but don't worry, it's easy either way. So let's put it around the pelvis area or the ilium area. Okay, let's actually a short lesson in anatomy. So the pelvis is made out of these few bones, this one being the ilium, which quite a lot of muscles attached to it. We got pubis, this bone that goes down, and then we got ischium, which is this bone. So some of the leg bones, actually, we'll talk about it probably a bit later. So the leg bones, for example, if I remember correctly here, they will attach to the ischium for stability. Okay, probably same if I remember correctly, like these muscles, some of the leg muscles will attach to the pubis as well. So these are the bones made for stability of the dinosaur. Just a bit of a fun fact. It doesn't really matter that much for the sculpt. Okay, and then with grab brush and X-ray mode turned on with Alt Z, we are going to make it fit to the reference from the side. Okay, something like this. Yeah, I mean, you cannot conform that much if you are on low amounts of geometry, but we need to do it. Okay, and we have this, but it looks good, but only from side. Well, to fix that, let me show you the T-Rex reference. but there is a tendency right here. Let me show you. So here we have neck, which kind of tapers and then goes big once it hits the torso. So the torso, around the rib cage, it protrudes out, then goes in, and if we were to ignore the legs, it goes in like a lot. The ilium are really close to each other in carnivorous dinosaurs, so theropods. Okay, so we want to have this hourglass kind of shape going on. So let's sculpt it. Okay, where... so ribcage is gonna probably be somewhere out here. Here we're gonna have legs around this area. So let's pull that in. Pull that in here as well. And smooth it a bit. And it looks alright. Let's maybe fix the neck because I think it's a bit too thick. We can maybe... Okay, we will talk about the skull and head a bit later on. For now, we should be good. Okay, so we got the torso blocked out. Relatively alright. And now let's get into the limbs. And the limbs, I really like to add them. They're a bit more difficult than what we've done before, but it's still really fun. So spawn whatever, add whatever object you wish to add. Go to tab, and then delete all the vertices. And make sure that you are in the vertex mode so that you see what you are adding. And so, you know, the dinosaur is not in a neutral pose, it's like walking probably, so we need to improvise a bit and just look what we have in here. So first of all, the leg attaches the big like muscles attached to the ilium. So let's start in here. Then the knee part, let me show you the skeleton. This part is gonna be somewhere around where the torso ends, and it has like a slight angle, so probably around the pubis. So let's put down this vertice, and then we're gonna have a slight angle going down. So let's say somewhere around this area we could have the other bone, the leg bone, and then okay, let's move it over here, and then to a slight angle, but to the other side, I'm gonna put it out here. Don't go straight down to the ground, not yet. Believe me, just trust me now. Okay, let's put it around here so that it almost touches to the body. And you've probably guessed it. In order to get two legs, and they need to look identical, and they need to be on the both sides. You've guessed it, we need to add mirror. So Alt M, and then let's mirror it to the sphere. Okay, so we got legs, and let's do something very similar for the arms. So they attach to the coracoid muscle, not muscle, coracoid, which is kind of like sternum, but it's actually birds don't have sternum, they have coracoid. Okay, so it will start from here, go down here, and here to the wrist. Let's move it aside. Once again, mirror it. Okay, so we got a very, very, very simple blockout. We have put where the limbs should be. Now let's add skin modifier and Ctrl+2 to subdivide it. Now let's look at the reference of a T-Rex, but keep in mind the legs would be a lot thinner on Changiosaurus. So Ctrl+A to scale it up so that it covers relatively all of the ilium, which is The ilium is right here. And this will attach to it. Okay. Now Ctrl A to make the knee a bit smaller, not too much. Then make this melt of the bones that is right here smaller, and then let's make this even smaller. Okay, so this is not perfect, but we have something. So my whole philosophy is that you make something very simple and then you start adding up more and more details. And we're gonna do the same for the arms. So skin modifier, Ctrl 2, and actually let's make everything. So A to select all the vertices and Ctrl A to make them smaller. Okay, so we have the arms. And now let's add the deltoid muscle, which I like to add separately because it's a bit weird to add as a muscle when we are adding volume with the clay strips later on. So let's move it around here. It's gonna be, yeah, let's say here. And without symmetry, let's see, how does it look? So in here, it's going to have a shape. If we were to simplify it, it's going to have like this weird shape, and then it attaches here. So kind of like an inverted C, if we were to really simplify it. I know, not really, but I like to put it like an inverted C first. Okay. And then the deltoid muscle attaches to this bone. So let's make this little thingy around here. Okay, and it is going, so the deltoid muscle attaches to this, to the sternum. I think I misspelled a bone which is not called sternum. Dinosaurs don't have clavicles, they have coracoids. So the deltoids are actually going to attach out here to the coracoid, and then here to the scapula, which is this bony part. This is scapula. Oh, sorry. Let me actually draw it for you so that you understand better. So this is coracoid, and then here in the middle you have sternum. Alright, so very roughly, super roughly actually, but let's just put it in place. Alt M, and we have something. Alright, it doesn't need to be perfect. We get something. Okay, what else? And then one last thing, which I like to actually block out the sole of the feet as a separate object. So let's spawn in a cylinder. Let's scale it down and make sure from the front it's in the right place. Somewhere out here. And let's look at the reference from here. Slightly rotate it. So this would be probably at a slightly different angle. And let's, with face mode selected here, and Alt Z, which is the X-ray, we're going to extrude it down to the ground. Let's add an edge loop right here, which is going to be that big wrinkle that you can see here. So I'm already thinking of what we are going to have. This big wrinkle. I like to model it first. So it's roughly, it's probably going to be somewhere about here. And now let's Alt M to mirror and select torso as the like middle part, which it gets mirrored to. Okay. And in the next part, we are going to sculpt just a bit all these parts without remeshing. Okay, so we're just gonna get the silhouette right first, and we'll also add the fingers to the hands, to the arms, and to the feet. All right, see you then. Bye.